Good morning, good morning. How are you all this morning? I thought I'd jump on this morning to talk in a little bit more depth about the first step in terms of dealing with anxiety and fears and nerves. So in my blog and in my last live, I talked about the 3 steps that I think are most important for preparing to go on stage, whoever your audience is, whether it's an audition panel or an auditorium, or maybe it's just one-on-one because that's where you find your nerves come up most frequently. And the 3 steps were, firstly, love and connect with your material, what you are performing. Secondly, love your audience and connect with them. And thirdly, love and connect with yourself and what is going on for you. So today I wanted to take a bit more of a look at loving your material and what can get in the way of us loving our material. And I think there are 3 main things. You'll learn as you go along. There are always 3 things with me. It was something I was taught as a barrister, that 3 points are really are easy to follow, and not only for yourself but for your audience. So I always think in 3s. And so the 3 things that get in the way of us connecting and loving our material can be, number 1, that we're taking what we're doing really seriously. And I'm not saying we shouldn't take what we do seriously. I think it's important to take what we do seriously. However, don't lose the fun when you do that. I did a talk, and it's actually on my website. If you go to my website, you can click a button and download it's about a 20-minute talk, and it's called Where's the F in Work? And I talk about fun and work and how we can often take work so seriously that we forget to enjoy it. And the bonuses of enjoying our work. If we can love what we do, it actually releases us to do a better job. But sometimes we take things so seriously. So we look at whatever we're going to perform and we think we have to take it very seriously, which, let's not be frivolous about it. But there's a difference between frivolity and looking at something casually and really enjoying and having fun doing what you're doing. And so if you can look at what you're doing and look for the enjoyment, look for the bits you love, it can bring so much. And in this 20-minute talk, I talk a lot more about how that works psychologically and the neurobiology of it all. So yes, by all means, take what you're doing seriously, but don't forget to have fun, because taking it too seriously can mean it gets in the way of us loving and connecting with what we are going to deliver. And as I said before, if we can love and connect with what we're going to deliver, then we will do a better job. It's easier to remember words if we know exactly why each word is where it is and why it connects with that note if you're singing a song, why each note follows each note. We fall in love with that particular passage. Oh, that's my favorite bit. And then we build up to the bit that's coming. And suddenly we're not in our own heads, doubting ourselves. We are in the material and therefore so much more capable of delivering it. So that's number 1. The second thing that can get in the way of our material is that it hasn't become our why. So to really connect with and love your material, it's important that it becomes the reason that you are performing. So for public speakers, that can be easier than for singers sometimes. So when we stand up, we want to get our message across. That the reason we are standing in front of these people is that we have a message to deliver. Not always. Sometimes the reason we're standing in front of these people is this is a whole bunch of people that we want to connect with and they want to sell to. And so the material is a way of getting that. And for singers, that can be even more so, especially if you're doing an audition, because actually your reason for standing in front of that panel is to get the job, or to get the place. Hi, Jules, lovely to see you. So sometimes when we're in front of an audition panel, the reason we're there is to get the place at college or to get the job. So our reason isn't necessarily to do with the material. And that can pull us away from actually being in love with and committed to and connected to what we're delivering. So when it becomes our secondary why, then we can become serious about it. And we go back to the first thing I was talking about, we become too serious about it. And hi, Susie. And when we become too serious about it, we can disconnect from it. So how do we then, if it's not our primary why, if the reason we are delivering what we are delivering, song or speech, is not the primary reason if what we are delivering isn't our primary reason for delivering it, then how do we turn it into it? Because it's hard to do that. If we're desperate to get into a college or we really want that job, then how do we make the song the primary thing we focus on? And that comes back to the falling in love with. And it also relates to the second step, which is loving your audience and realizing why they are there. Refocusing our attention to the material and consciously making the material our why has the effect of making us better at delivering that material. If instead of saying, I want to get the job, and that's why I'm standing here, we go, I really want to deliver this song. I want them to understand the pain in this section that this person is going through, or the joy. That's what my purpose is, to communicate this. Then our focus goes back to the song and it becomes our why. And the result is our primary why, that hopefully is our secondary why now, becomes more achievable, because what our audience wants is that message. They want to be able to connect with that message. And when they can do that, they're more likely to buy from you. If it's a selling thing, they're more likely to give you the job. They're more likely to give you the place at the college, because what they're looking for are people who can communicate that message. So make the material your why, the reason you are doing it. Hi, Rebecca, lovely to see you. And by doing that, you are more likely to get your primary why. And the third thing that can get in the way of us really connecting with our material is overanalysis. When we pull apart our material so much, we're working so hard to make it perfect, to get it going perfectly, and so everything works, so that we don't forget the words, so that we don't miss a bit, then we forget the whole context. We forget what it means to us. And so sometimes it's important to take a step back from our material, to take a look at it and remember the whole. Remember what it's trying to do for people, deliver to people, what we're trying to get across to people. Because I've heard myself sing at times, I've recorded myself, and I can hear myself thinking about every single note and every single word. And the thoughts seem so clear when I listen back to myself. And instead of having that wonderful line that goes through, it's all chopped up by my thoughts. And therefore, I don't communicate it as well. I've forgotten that what this song is all about is X or Y. And I'm thinking, well, there's this note, and how does that sound? And oh, the tone on that is a bit off, and I need more support here. And it becomes all chopped up. So when I reconnect to loving what I'm doing, and loving the material and seeing it as a whole, by not thinking about it in these chopped sections, then I'm much more able to deliver something that is more pleasurable to listen to. Even when I'm doing these sort of talks, as soon as I start overanalyzing, you'll hear it in the way I'm talking. You'll hear that what I'm delivering starts to chop up and I lose my flow. And then I get back to the reason I'm doing these talks and it all comes back again. So those are the three things I would say are important to remember about the first of my three big things of dealing with anxiety. So the first thing is, don't get too serious. There's a difference between taking something seriously and being serious in it. So if that's you think is one of your issues, then take a look at my talk that's on the front page of my website called Where's the Effing Work? And it will give you an idea as to how to really enjoy what you're doing. Whatever it is, every aspect of my job, even my accounts, I now enjoy by using those techniques. I'm trying to remember what number 2 is. Oh yes, make the thing you're delivering, your message, your song, your primary focus, your primary why. Get back to that being your why. Yes, there may be a bigger why out there, getting the job, persuading people to buy from you, standing in front of class and being analysed, whatever it is, you don't want to make a fool of yourself. So often that can be our primary why. Make the song your primary why. Make the message your primary why, and you will get things across so much better. And thirdly, and again, I've forgotten number 3. Can you tell I have ADHD? Oh, what was number 3? Oh yes, don't overanalyze. Or if you find yourself overanalyzing, and in practice, a good deal of analysis can be useful, remember to step back out and look back at the whole context. The left brain is the analysis, the pulling apart, the looking at the minutiae. Right side of your brain is emotion and empathy and context and big picture. And if you get too tied up in your left brain, pull back and allow your right brain to do what the right brain does really well and give you that wonderful big picture. And that will help you fall in love with your material, with your piece, and then you will deliver it so much more. We won't be hearing the individual thoughts, as you get with me so often. You won't be hearing the individual thoughts. You'll get that, even in speech, you'll get that wonderful flow, that wonderful line, and you'll take people on your journey. And they're more likely to come on your journey because using your right brain, you're more likely to have the capacity to bring them in, get them empathizing with you and empathize with them and connect with them. And that will lead me on to number 2, which is about connecting with your audience, which I will cover soon. Thanks for listening this morning, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.